little bit of a larger game, so I'll probably jump around a little bit on the explanation. More than likely, I'm just going to give you a quick overview initially, and then I'll just explain things kind of as we play. This is more of the tutorial mission, so I think just teaching you as we play probably makes a lot more sense.
I much prefer it that way. Much prefer it that way. Usually when people try to explain their game beforehand, it takes half an hour, and none of it makes sense until you play a round or three. So I completely agree.
So what I'll do is I will do a very quick high level that won't make too much sense, but just give you a very brief an idea of what everything is, and then we'll get into actually playing, and you'll just see things in motion, and hopefully things will just make sense.
Okay. Real quick, first off, what's your publisher, or what's your company name?
So I don't actually work for the publisher. I actually just demo for them.
Okay.
This company name is Dragon Dawn Productions.
Okay. And the name of the game.
And I'm a demoer for Double Exposure Envoy.
Okay.
And the name of the game is Perditions Mouth.
Perditions Mouth. All right. Abysmal Rift Revised Edition. All right. Good to go.
All right. So, in this game, it is a dungeon crawling campaign style sort of game. So, a lot of people will probably think of like Gloomhaven and things like that. So, your typical, dungeon crawler, except there's no dice. A lot of those types of games, you think dice throwing, like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. You're not going to have dice in this. This is going to be all deck based. So it's more like your Euro style games. So
Euro style. What does that mean? I've never heard that term before.
So typically Euro games tend to have more your gameplay is more decided based on cards more so than dice rolls, more than luck and stuff.
When you say Euro, you mean like European?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So that's the idea here. So what we're going to be doing here is you don't have the card. So in each of the scenarios, there's going to be a card that's going to kind of give you a story. In the digital implementation, for whatever reason, they don't have that. But our goal here is essentially, you'll see my little hand on the map. The mission here on this one is to get from this cell, which is C6, and you'll notice at the bottom there's the letters, and here's the numbers. We're getting from C6, trying to sneak through to get over here to O4, to this little set of stairs.
Okay.
So unlike a lot of games, you have no real incentive for killing the enemy. Sometimes there may be victims that you want to save, treasure you want to collect, but killing the enemies, there's really no perk to it. You're not getting experience or anything like that. And in some cases, killing the enemy will actually make your life a lot harder.
Okay.
So in this game, you really want to complete the objectives and any maybe side objectives that come up. So our objective on this map, which is, again, the tutorial map, is to simply get from point A to point B.
Okay.
So we will have these threats that are on here, and these are little cultists that are basically worshipping bugs. And the further into the campaign that you go, insect creatures will start spawning, and that makes a whole mess for us to have to deal with. So in here, we are going to be controlling different heroes. And for this, since there's just two of us, we'll each pick two heroes to control, and the other two will just kind of disappear. And so let me talk through a couple of these heroes. So let's look at this green hero here where my hand is. So I'm just going to talk through very basic what the character sheet looks like. In the upper left hand up here, you have a little symbol. That symbol is going to correspond with a little token that's going to be on this little rondelle over here.
Okay.
Rondelle is just basically the circle thing up here. This will be a marker that'll be going around into little token spaces around here. I'll explain that more as we're playing the game. This little target thing means you're a ranged character, so your attack has range, so you'll be counting squares to attack.
Okay.
So over here means you'll be collecting cards. The first number is how many cards you'll collect into your hand at the beginning of a turn. The second number is how many cards you can have in your hand total. Down here is how much health you'll have. As you lose health, your stats will actually decrease.
Ooh.
I'll explain what these stats are, but basically, as you lose health, whatever is on that line is what your current stats values are for each of those.
Gotcha.
And then you have special abilities, and we'll talk more about those, but that's a very, very quick version of what your character sheet is. When you actually pick characters, we'll talk about what the special abilities and those stats are.
Okay.
So, these are the 2 rondels for characters and enemies. What's going to happen is on your turn, you're going to be spending action points, which is the first little symbol on the character sheet. That's the little star symbol.
Okay.
The very first thing. That's your action points. And that's going to allow you to go around this little rondel and decide what your action's going to be on that turn. So to go around this circle, you're going to have to spend action points. But,
and it only goes clockwise?
Yes.
Okay.
So to go around it, you're going to be going based on these little spokes. And the spokes are like the actual colored segments. So from going from here to here, if this little token wasn't here, it cost me 1, 2 to go to any of these dots. And these dots are all the same in this section. It's just all one big space.
Okay.
So it just cost me 2 to get there. And what this would do is draw a card and attack. And each of these symbols basically mean move if it's a foot, attack if it's a fist, special if it's that little purple triangle, rest if it's a little campfire, and defend if it's a shield. And we'll talk about what all those are, but that's very, very quickly, that's what they are.
Okay.
The text there even tells you basically what they are.
Okay.
And so you're going to be spending action points to do those different actions. The enemies, likewise, on their turn, what's going to happen is we're going to draw a card from this deck, and this is going to tell us how far on their rondel they're going to move. We're going to move a token. They're going to perform the actions based on how many spaces they move. And basically, we're going to go back and forth, performing our actions. Then they're going to perform their actions, back and forth, and hopefully we complete our mission. That is a very, very dumbed-down version of how the game is going to run.
Awesome.
But do you have any questions?
Not so far.
All right. Pick 2 characters that are around the table that you like, and we're going to kill the other 2.
All right. I like purple, so we're going to go for purple.
Okay.
Tyra. And that's a berserker, so I'm assuming that's a close range person. So do we have any magicians or anything like that?
Yeah, we definitely do. I think you might actually be beside the other magician. Let me see. Let's see here. Yeah, this one's kind of a spellcaster. Has a range of up to 6. That's what the second number is. So the first number is your action points. Your second number is your range.
Okay.
Then your attack value and your defense value is your things. So this person doesn't have a lot of health, but they have a lot of range.
Good to go.
So do you want those 2
Yeah,
characters?
let's take these 2.
All right. All right. I'll just make it easy, and I'll do the 2 on the opposite side of the board. So these 2 on the edge will just not be around.
Good to go. Hey, give me 30 seconds. I'm going to grab something real quick. Be right back.
No problem. Sure.
All right. Sounds good. I'm ready.
All right. So, as I was saying earlier, we're going to be starting. We need to come in over here at C6. Now, we are not actually on the map at the beginning of the session.
Okay.
So, we'll actually have to spend a movement whenever we perform a move to appear on the map. So, when you first move, you'll actually need to spend a movement to appear onto C6 and then to finish moving. So
C6, not B6?
You'll actually go into C6. You'll just magically move through B6.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, would you like to be the first player, or would you like to be the second player?
Second player.
All right. So, and we can, and the good thing about how the turn order works is we can, every turn, we can fluidly change who goes. So I'll move a character, and then if you want to go next, you can go next. We can at any time change this.
Gotcha.
So it just goes players, all players go take their turn, and then all enemies go. So let's go ahead and move the roguish character just because they have a lot of points. So
real quick, when you first started, this was over here.
Okay.
Was that supposed to be there? Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do that there.
And
so I need to get
supposed to be there, and that's supposed to be there.
Yeah, we just basically need to have them in different spokes at the beginning.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so for me to move, I need to get into a spot that has a foot. And you can't stay on the same spoke. So I'm going to either have to get the sprint, or I have a lot of action points, so I could try to get all the way over here. Now, the fact that there's no spot for me to even go here, I can actually skip over this spoke for free. So it would go 1, 2, I can go 3 and 4 to get over here. So that's probably what I'm going to do, because this doesn't count against me since there's nowhere for me to go. And the reason I don't want to go here is because I want to allow these two characters to be able to get to probably sprint, since you probably have less action points to do so. And I have 8, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do that. So I've spent 4. I have 8, so I now have 4 left. So the leftover action points become my movement. So I am going to simply move. So I take my little token here, which is on the top of your character sheet. Takes me 1 to move there. And each space is 1 movement. So you are moving orthogonally. You cannot move diagonal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to get out of the way. So that is everything I can do. I technically could attack, but there's nothing for me to attack.
That was only 3 spaces. You can't move.
Well, it took me 1 space to appear on the board. So it took me 1 to appear. 2, 3, 4.
Gotcha.
So I could either do my other character, or one of your characters could appear next.
Okay. Go ahead and do your other character.
Sure. All right, so let's see. I have the red, or this guy here. So let's see. That's that symbol. Looks like I could actually just do the same. Let's do 1. He has that many action points, so he'll also have 4. So let's kind of do the same. 1.
So the fist counts as a charge move.
3, 4. So basically, what charge is basically you would move and then attack. Charge is just the flavor text of what it is. So charge basically means you would move and then you would finish up your movement with an attack.
Okay, so if I move to any of these spaces, I get to do anything that's in the move section. Gotcha.
You do the symbols in the order from left to right. So what these symbols are, and I'll go ahead and say what they are, I guess. So sprinting is, first things first, you would perform a move, and then you would draw a card from the response deck, which is this deck here, and you would move an additional number of spaces as shown on the card. So that's why it's a sprint. You get to move further.
Okay.
Which I actually need to shuffle that because I'd already pulled that up once. So that is everything I can do. I've moved the number of spaces I can go. Actually, I'm going to move down. That makes more sense.
Okay. All right, and then let's start with purple.
Okay.
Since it's and when we get to this gate right here, what do we have to do?
It'll be 1 action point to open the door.
Okay.
There's a number of different things, like opening locked doors, chests, and things like that. There's like a whole section in the book that'll tell you how many action points it costs to do all those actions. But luckily, in this section, it's just a basic door. So
okay, so the purple person has 5 points. So I'm gonna move them to 1.
Yep. So you now have 4 left, so you can make 4 movements.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, by doing that, am I trapping the next person that comes in?
Well, you're not done yet, because like right now, if you draw a 0, yes. But what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to the standard deck.
Okay.
You're going to pull one card off,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to flip it over. And flip is the F key. And you can move an extra 3 points.
Boom. One,
2, and then you can actually go ahead and open that door. Just move that little token away.
So that was my third movement?
Yep, and now you just stay right there.
All right.
And that is a sprint action.
Is there a discard pile?
You could just kind of put it there. These other 2 decks are based on how, if you depending on like the difficulty that you played. So we're just going to use the standard
100%.
deck. So, yep.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and play your other character.
All right, that is, what color is that? Green?
Yes.
All right.
Oh no.
No.
It's the
white.
Yeah, it's the white one.
All right. So, 1, 2. The white one only gets. Oh, you get 7. Okay.
So he's actually going to get trapped regardless, because one thing about movement is you cannot move through other models. So he'll actually just end up going right up behind him, regardless of
gotcha.
Regardless of the response card. Draw a response card just to see what it is, because it's interesting to see what happens. But it's just a 1.
Good to go.
All right. So now all of the players have gone. So now we move on to the enemy phase. So what will happen during the enemy phase is we draw one of their response cards. They are going to do 2 actions. So we'll just move one of these little tokens. And what they'll do is they will move one of their tokens, and they'll start their movement, or they'll start their actions in the order based on the token.
What did I do? I just moved something on accident trying to scroll out.
Nope, that's fine. I actually forgot to set that when we were starting up the game, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is that? That's not the right number at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally, this is actually a thing that rotates, but in this version of the game, it's just a token or a little counter. So whenever enemies respawn, which we'll actually see here in a minute, it's based on that number there. So we'll actually see what happens with that.
Okay. So you drew a card from the standard deck to get that +2, correct? And that because that +2 popped out, they got 2 actions?
Yeah, so what happened is they were both on this spot here.
Okay.
Both of these markers. These are basically, this will tell you where or how many spaces ahead it goes. And then this is just telling you which action it's currently on. So what will happen is, this tells you what the current action they're performing is. They have to perform, everybody has to perform all of that action before they move on to the next. So what will happen is, they'll all perform attacks if they can. So we'll look and see if they can attack. So we look at the enemies and look at their range. We go up here to the upper left and see what their range are for their tokens, which I don't believe any of them are in range. They are not, because of line of sight. Nope. So none of them are in line of sight. So none of them couldn't even attack anyways.
Okay.
So they can't move because that wasn't the action that was up. So then we move on to the spawn. So now what will happen is new enemies will spawn, and the symbol, you'll see that at the middle of this little spawn is a circle. At the middle of this spawn is a square.
Okay.
So what happens is we go to the spawn deck here, or the spawn section here, and we, as the players, get to pick which enemies are going to spawn. And they'll spawn from the trap doors on the map. So we'll look and decide which enemies we would like to spawn.
Okay.
The weakest enemies are like the leftmost of those. So if we want the weakest ones, these are the ones we'd probably want to spawn.
Okay. And
so
this is the trapdoor?
Yes, that is a trapdoor.
Okay. And that's the only one I see on the map. So that's the only place that they can spawn.
Correct.
Okay. And how many spawns? How many?
2.
Based on
this little number here.
That thing.
So
gotcha.
that number gets determined at the beginning of the session based on the number of heroes So there's 4 of us. There's 4 heroes, and then the map level. And this is currently map level 1, and that's on this card that's physically in front of me. It's not on the digital implementation, but it's physically in the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
As you play through the campaign, there's other modifiers that may implement or affect that, like the cultists raising alarms, attacking bugs, and stuff like that. So there's things that are going to cause that to go higher. And as you see, as you rotate that number up, more things will spawn more frequently.
Gotcha.
So you really don't want that to go up too high. Let me get back to the normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, which of those would you like to spawn?
You said that's the weakest, so.
Yep.
I'm assuming it spawns on the spot.
Right beside the spot, in one of the spaces beside it, because you can't actually block. You don't want to block the spot.
Right. And then the second one.
Yep.
Do we want him to be closer or further? Let's put him closer.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and that is all the enemies can do, because that's all they were able to do on this turn. So, it comes back over to us, and now it's our turn. So we can go in whatever order. We don't have to go in the same order we did last time. So,
that makes sense.
We could either fight these guys, or we could just continue running to our objective. Now, because we are a little further ahead, let me tell you about a couple things that you may see on the map now. So, you'll notice over here in this section where my hand is, this is, if you've ever played like D&D, it's sort of like difficult terrain. To move onto this section, where all these squares have been 1 action point to move on, these are 3 action points to move on.
Okay.
And you can tell that based on the number of dots on there. You're going to find other spaces on the maps that have like a square that'll be 4. You may find like a little circle that has like 2 dots on it. So based on the number of dots, that'll tell you the difficulty it is to walk through it.
Gotcha.
So that's basically that. And you'll see these little eyes. These are like little archer slits. So you can attack through those to attack the enemies. So.
Okay. Only if you're ranged, though.
Correct.
Well, I guess everybody has at least 2 ranged. So if I'm gonna move this one back, but so if this guy was standing here, he's got 2 range, right? Yes.
Yes.
So he could go. That's 2. So he could attack through that, even though.
Yeah, it looks like the only person that only had a 1 range is this guy.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And so now, basically, the barbarian person has to go first because everybody else is trapped behind them.
Correct.
All right. So they have, what is that, 5? Where's the purple?
Yeah, and one thing about movements, when you go to move, if you move into the space and you want to leave the space beside this person who's threatening you, it'll actually cost you 1 additional point to move out of that space.
Gotcha. All right. It's got 5. Rest gives you 3 cards, I'm assuming?
It'll let you draw back up to whatever your hand is. Oh, shoot, we didn't even draw cards. Yeah. Pull cards. Yeah, I forgot about this. Put cards in front of your character equal to that first number on that upper right. I didn't even talk about cards. I said I was going to talk about these things as they came out.
So yeah,
each
for the
of these
purple
cards
is
are
the
going to
4 or
give
the
you abilities.
7? 4, okay.
Yeah, the first number. Yeah, the second number is your max hand limit. So, yeah, let me talk about this because this is going to come up now. Okay. So, there are different things you can do with these cards. So, you'll notice there are different symbols on these cards. They match up with the different circles that are on the... What this circle is called is the Stone of Destiny. And so basically, they're going to have your attacks. They're going to have your little camp, your special symbols and stuff. So, basically, you can either, if they have like the attack symbol on it, you could discard that card and use it to add that number to your attack value. So whenever you go to attack something, so like if this character here wanted to attack an enemy, they could discard this card, add it to their attack value, which this character has a 0 attack value, so they have to use cards. They can add as many cards that they want that adds to attacks, and add that all up. When the enemy goes to defend against it, they add up their defense value, which is shown on the card in the upper left that we were looking at earlier, and they'll draw just one response card. If their combined value is equal to or higher than your attack value, they take no damage.
Okay.
But if you manage to exceed their defense value, they take 1 damage. And many of the enemies only have 1 health, so they just die. But if they do have more than 1 health, they just take 1 damage. If we ever take damage, well, we'll talk about what happens with wounds.
If?
But yeah, we will take damage.
What was the Stone of Destiny again?
The Stone of Destiny is this circle thing that we're going around.
Okay, good to go.
And some of the cards will have special text on it. When you discard it for that use, you'll get to use that ability. Now, if it doesn't have the symbol for what you're wanting to use it for, so actually this character is a bad example. Let's say this character. Let's say I needed an extra attack and I didn't want to use any of these cards, but I need an extra attack. I could discard this Mighty Leap to add a +1 to my attack, even though this is a foot instead of an attack. I could just discard it for a +1. All cards can give you a +1 to any of your stats that you discard it for.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just most cards are better for a certain thing.
Sure.
So now let's talk about these special abilities on these cards. I don't know if this will come in handy for you or not, but let's look at what your 2 special abilities are. So to trigger your special abilities, characters have 2 special abilities listed on their cards. One is at the top, is pretty much always in effect, and the second is only whenever you use the special space that has that symbol on the little Stone of Destiny.
Gotcha.
So it has this little special. So when you use that special spot, basically you can perform that action. So like this one, you'll draw a range 4 cone. So that's basically you'll go 1 spot in front of you. That's the first square. Then the 3 spaces in front of it wide. And then in front of that 5 spaces. It's basically a cone. Have you played D&D before?
I have.
Okay, so you know how cones work in D&D. It's a cone in D&D. So basically you'll draw a cone and read the rest of the text essentially.
Okay.
And that's basically how that'll work. Then the Amulet of the True God, draw 1 reaction card at the beginning of the scenario. Oh, I guess we should have done that. As the eye, take the Blessed Amulets, treasure from the treasure deck. Oh, I guess we should have done that.
All right, so let's do that. Draw 1.
Yeah, flip that over and let's hope that that's a sweet. You got this item.
Hold on before you. Okay, because if it has that symbol, okay, that's that symbol. Gotcha. Take the Blessed Amulet of the True God treasure deck from there, so that puts that there. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. And what does once per turn when you draw? What is that symbol? When you draw a card? Is that symbol the same as that symbol?
Whenever you draw a reaction or a response card, which is what these cards are.
For some reason, this card right here is fuzzier for me than everything else, so I can't tell what that symbol looks like.
Yeah, it is.
It's that symbol that's on the back of these cards.
Yeah, it's this response card. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, good to go. It involves once per turn when you draw a response card that involves you. You may discard it and draw another. This can affect the response drawn for an enemy attacking you or defending against you. Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. So basically, if you get a really high number for a defense that you don't like on an enemy, you can force them to discard it and draw again. So that's kind of nice.
Okay.
That is really, really nice. And then over here for your Berserker, you could go into a rage and do all the Berserker stuff.
All right. Now, how does the Berserker get that card right there? Or how do I ding stuff? Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. When you enter a rage, treat that as a move as a charge.
Maybe it's a special.
I don't think you actually end up with a card. I don't think. Okay. I think it's just you just have it.
Okay.
Yeah. You can. Okay, and you'll gain a fatigue. So if you do not attack on a turn, your rage ends and you gain a fatigue, which is a -1, which you do not want.
Okay.
So you basically want to make sure you're always hitting stuff when you go into a rage. So you want to make sure you're around enemies when that happens. So.
All right. So we now have cards, and the Berserker has to move, or else they're stuck. So right now I'm trying to decide if I want to play a card or if I want to come over here and spend these.
You'll still have to go around this, but you'll use the cards to supplement whatever you're gonna do.
Okay. So it's got.
What sucks is you probably really want to charge,
right?
But we kind of blocked it.
All right. That's purple, so it'd be 1, 2. Is this?
And you
is
won't
this
be able
1?
to go to.
Or is that 1 and that's 2, or is this 1?
Let's see. You are a melee person, so you will actually skip this aim shot because this is reserved for people who have that little symbol. So you would actually go straight to bash. So you'd go 1, 2, 3 to bash.
So that doesn't count as a move. That's okay. Boom. That's 3. Right. All right. And
luckily, range attacks do work at diagonal, so you can technically attack at a diagonal. The worst thing is you won't be able to move,
right?
Because you don't have a movement in that spot. So that's the worst.
Hodor. All right. So now, do I attack automatically, or do I need to?
Okay. So what'll happen is your attack is the value of your attack number, which is 4, which is really strong, and then you will draw a response card from this standard deck. Add them together, and that's your attack value. So you have an attack of 9. There is literally no way that they can defend higher than a 9. So you could add cards if you absolutely wanted, but I don't think there's any reason to.
Gotcha.
So go ahead and pull a card off for them for their defense.
All right, so now we're doing
it's going to be 1 plus whatever you draw. So they actually drew pretty well. So they have a defense of 5 against your 9, so they die.
All right, they go back into the pool.
They go to the dead deck.
Dead deck. Okay.
Yep. And things can't come back from the dead deck unless something says they can. So we could, in theory, clear out the entire pool. It's just
unlikely.
There's really no benefit if we do, because as we take damage, we take wounds, and that's not good for us.
Okay.
All right, so you have done your action. Now the big question is, what do we do? Because we are kind of stuck behind you. Nobody has a teleport. Does anybody have a teleport? I'm trying to think if we have anybody that has the teleport. I mean, I have a teleport, it looks like. You may blink diagonally 2 squares. Could I get through you all? No. Well, I could. No, I could not, because I'd have to move first. So yeah, I couldn't even go through it. So yeah, I think we're just gonna have to kind of bide our time, it looks like.
Good to go. Berserker.
All right, so let's see. Is there any good actions we could try to do? Because we could try to attack at a range and see. Well, no, we don't have line of sight on anything either. Because line of sight goes from center of your token to center of another token. So yeah, nothing has line of sight.
Except this would have line of sight on that 1, 2. But
yeah, but he's already
moved, right? Okay.
Yep. So I guess we just kind of have to spend an action to spend an action. Yeah, because I'm looking to see if there's anything we could do.
Well, let's see here. Let's see if Sima can do anything. Draw at the beginning of each scenario. We've already got the Amulet of True God. Once per turn when you draw, it involves you. Choose any hero within your line of sight, which may be yourself. That hero takes an additional turn immediately after your turn ends. How about that?
Oh, that works. That would work very well, because then you can go ahead and get your character. Go ahead and move. Yeah.
So that symbol, I would have to move all the way to here. And how much does... He's got 7. That is green? No.
No.
White.
That is
white.
white.
I keep thinking it's green because of the green there. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
And put that in the discard pile, I guess. No.
It'll be your own discard pile, so just kind of like put it on the over here beside your draw pile.
Gotcha.
So any hero within range, which is easily your character.
All right, so now this person, the Berserker, has to move on here again.
Yep.
Do I have to move, or I can't attack again sitting here?
Yeah, you do have to move. You cannot use the same space on the thing again.
Gotcha. So it'd be 1, 2, and then I do the card first, and then the fist, or the, because you said from left to right.
You really want to move to clear out this line, so that we're not stuck here anymore. And
Gotcha.
actually, with your other character, because you're trying to clear the line out, you actually, so what you would probably want to do is, since you had 2 action points left with this character, you'd probably want to move him back into this corner to allow these other 2 characters to be able to funnel out.
Gotcha.
So you probably want to use this character to do your Berserker to do a movement.
Okay. So I can really just do this then. Boom.
So you'll draw a card from your character deck first.
My character deck, not the standard deck.
Yep, that's what the white version is. It's a character deck, as long as you're not to your hand limit yet, which you have a hand limit of 7.
How do I? It's at a weird angle. How do I? There we go.
Q, I think it is. Yeah.
All right. During a charge action, after moving at least 4 squares this turn after the attack, you push your target as you would during a bash action.
You basically push them 1 more space, and you take their space over.
Okay.
Neat.
And now I move. And I have, let's see, I moved 1, so I still have 4 left. So 1, 2, 3. Can I use the 4th action to move the door?
Yep.
All right. I don't know if that's smart, but we'll try it. And I think that's everything this character can do.
Okay, let's see. Looking at theirs, they're going to definitely move and potentially attack on this turn. So let's see. What can I do? I can definitely need to move.
You mind if I put some music on in the background? Is that fine?
Go for it. Yep, that's fine.
If it's too loud or anything, just let me know.
That's fine. All right, let's this guy. One, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, so that does count. That's 1 and then 2.
Oh yeah, I miscounted. No, it's 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I miscounted that. Yeah, I should skip over that one. Okay, so 3. So I still have 5 left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We go there just because. Oh yeah, I should have drew first. Okay, yeah. That is that. I don't think there were any cards I would have wanted to have played anyways. No. Alright, so that is that guy. So now I want to move this one. Let's see, what cards do you have? One, two, three. I think I just really want to move with this one again. And I can move three, so 1, 2, and draw my card. Should have done that first. Okay, so that is everything I can do.
Okay.
So that is all the players' turns. So now we pull and see how bad it's going to be for us against the enemy.
All right.
They're actually only going to move. That's actually really good for us. So what'll happen is we move. So if there was different types of enemies, insects would move first, then cultists, and then demons. Since we only have cultists, they move basically the smallest to largest. Really, there's really no difference here. So it's the closest from the enemies to the furthest. So let me see how many action points they have. Pretty much 2 and 3. So they're just gonna basically move closest to us.
Oh, should I just? When I try to scroll out, I keep accidentally messing that up. Did I put it back to what it was supposed to be?
As long as it's on the lower 2. I mean, we're not likely to increase that number anyway, so.
Okay. All right.
So that is all that happened with the enemies. Man, we're lucky they haven't managed to attack us yet, so.
What can I say? I'm lucky. All right, so they all moved 1.
Oh wait, actually I forgot this one. 2, 3.
Okay, 3, because
2 and 3. So up here on this sheet, you'll see that they have a foot, and it tells us how many they can move.
Okay, perfect. 2 and then 3.
Oh, actually, this one. Actually, I forgot. This one actually. I forgot.
Did I mess something up?
1, 2. Because these actually stay at a range of 3 from us. Yeah. Now it's correct.
Okay. I think I understand. So this is the one it's supposed to be on, because I had messed it up. This is the easy track.
This thing, yeah. Yep.
Alkalite moves 2 towards... What is that symbol next to the 2? What does that mean?
Move your hand. Let me see. I'm not entirely sure what that symbol means. Basically, it means it's the closest in range. Yeah.
Okay. Good to go.
I know what the book says. I don't necessarily know what all the symbols mean.
No worries. All right. And...
Oh, wait. No, I see what that is. Never mind. Hold on. That is different. They are moving differently than what I thought they were. Hold on. Let me see. That is those ones. They are going to the alarm.
Oh, there's a rule book over here. Okay.
There. They are going to this alarm token up here. I forgot this alarm token was here. When they make it up here, they start sounding an alarm, and future sessions, that threat number will be higher. So you don't want them to reach that thing. So if you were running this in a campaign, that is the thing you don't want them to make it up here. So that is where you want to fight. You want to fight these guys. You don't want to waste your time with these other guys.
Gotcha, because then it'll be sequentially harder every time they ring the alarm.
Yes.
Because it's basically telling them the redcoats are coming.
Reinforcements.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Well. So now it's our turn again, right?
Yep.
Now, let's see here. Do you have a recommendation on who to go next? Because it looks like... I mean, I would like to play like we were playing a campaign, so one of us would want to come kill this guy, and then this person, these two can, or these three can handle that one.
Yeah, let me see what my range would be. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just one range away. Do I have anything that would increase my range? I don't think. Mustn't attack manage. None of those are within range. Didn't get that character out close enough to attack. Where are we on the charge?
1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can move one more. That would just move him here. I still wouldn't be in range for that one.
I would probably say, if I could, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Would I have enough for my wizard to get out there? My wizard's color, which one is that? That's the yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 action points, not enough. I could discard enough cards to get enough movement.
That is right.
I could discard... Yeah, I could discard enough cards to get enough movement to get up there. Then I'd have to discard enough cards to get enough attack. I could do it. I could do it with this person. And I could do that now to make sure that we do it. So I can go ahead and use... well, we probably want to get this character out if you wanted this person to get out, because I'm going to block that one in.
Gotcha. All right.
So if you want that person to be able to do something, you probably want to get them out of there.
Okay.
I'm going to need the space right here.
That one right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a mark button? Or like a ding?
I don't know.
Okay.
I am going to need that space.
Gotcha. All right. So, what does this person want to do? I guess... What's this range? My range is very high. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I move here, if I move there, do I block your line of sight to that one?
You do block line of sight, yes. Ugh.
Okay. I can't move through there.
Kind of created a bad little cluster here. Although I guess I could move here and then you could just attack this person because you could see at that corner.
Diagonally? Okay.
Yeah. That might be the alternative.
Let's do that.
Let's put that there just for that. So I'll go ahead and go up here. I'll plan to do that. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will first discard. So I need 3. So let's discard. I have to discard a big one to make this work. So I discard this one to make 4. So actually, I'll move one extra space. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Why did you have to discard the big one? I thought any card would give you a.
But I need at least 3. And I need one that has a foot on it to be able to do that. So this has a foot on it.
Okay.
And my 3 doesn't have it. This doesn't have it. I have a 2 here. I could technically discard this and hold for a response card that has a 2 or more. I could do this and this, but I figured discarding this 1 card would be better than taking a gamble on having to discard 2 cards.
Understood.
That's really...
I mean, when you say at least a 4, it's because you moved more than 4, because of how many spaces you moved here? Like, why do you say at least 4?
So, I was here. So, I had 0 action points left, because it took all 5 of my action points to get around the rondelle
Gotcha.
to get to the spot for charge, so I had 0 action points left.
Right.
So, I needed to do that to get there. So, I spent the card that had the 4 on it to give me 4 action points for moving. So
gotcha, that's what that 4 means.
2,
gotcha.
3.
I thought it only gave you 1. Okay. Gotcha.
No, if it didn't have a foot on it, like if I would discard,
yeah.
if I discard this, it would not give me the 3; it'd give me a 1 because it doesn't have a foot on it.
Gotcha.
But since this does have a foot somewhere on it, it gives me a 4 on the foot.
Perfect.
All right, so there's that. So now I'm into the attack portion. I have a 0 attack, so I really do have to discard a number of cards to get that. So I'm going to discard this, and I'm going to take a little gamble. I'm going to do this. So I've got a 4, but I'm also going to draw one from the response deck. So 4 plus 3. So my total is now currently 7 versus their defense of 1 plus, and there's no 6s in here, so there's no way they could survive this, of 2. So I blew this guy up with fire.
All right.
And because if your attack deals damage, return this card to your hand, I get to keep this Elvish Dagger.
Nice.
But I do lose the Smiting Fist, but that's okay. It was worth it just in case that number was going to be high.
Absolutely.
Alright, so that was this guy. So go ahead and play one of your characters now.
Alright, we're going to play white. I think. Just go to attack. So that's 1. He's got 7. Wait. Wasn't this guy here? Oh no, that I gotta move first. I gotta charge.
Yep.
Well, what's the range on this one? I don't have line of sight. I guess I charge, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, how do I gauge my movement now?
So you spent 4 of your action points. You had how many action points to start with?
7, so I can move 3.
So you have 3 left.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And now, because of charge, I now get to attack?
Yep.
Okay. And
your base attack is 2, so any cards you toss out in addition just adds to that.
The name of this game, y'all, is Perditions Mouth Abysmal Rift Revised Edition. We are playing on... Sorry, we got people in chat asking.
Sure.
Playing on Tabletopia. And it's like a campaign. It's kind of like a D&D campaign, pre-made D&D campaign, using its own mechanic rule, which is pretty darn interesting so far. I really like this.
Yeah, and the game comes in a pretty large box, and it comes with miniatures and everything, and there's a number of expansions and everything.
Oh, you said miniatures. That's the key word right there.
Yep, miniatures.
Everybody wants the miniatures. All right.
Yeah, and they're pretty badass miniatures too.
Do I need to draw cards first? Am I supposed to draw?
No, the only time you actually draw cards is when around the rondel you see the little white symbol, or when you go to perform the rest action. So that is definitely a key. You don't get to draw unless you perform a rest or a spot allows you to do so. So that is one of the strategies. One of the things you have to balance out a bit of your strategy, because your cards are a finite resource. So
okay. They were asking.
It's not going to be as big of an issue on this campaign or this section, this little mission, but later when you have a lot of enemies, you're going to have to like balance out your characters, toss them out, get them rested, and definitely keep them protected.
Yeah, so kind of, Sinistar, it's kind of like Gloomhaven in the fact that it's a campaign. I've never played Gloomhaven. I'm actually playing that next month. I've got a time set aside to play with the group, so based on what he said earlier. What's your name, bud?
My name's Brian.
Brian. Based on what Brian said, it's sort of like Gloomhaven, just not 50 pounds of game. I don't know. Is it a bigger box or smaller box than Gloomhaven?
It's smaller, but it is still a pretty hefty box. The good thing is things are not permanent. You don't actually permanently modify your game or anything. You keep track of things on a piece of paper, so you keep track of like wounds and things like that on a paper, so you can always go back to a certain state that you were in a campaign. But
okay.
You don't have to put stickers on cards or anything like that. It's not like a legacy game necessarily.
Oh, gotcha. It's not a one-time playthrough.
Exactly.
And then you never play again.
That's what's really nice about this.
Okay. Is Gloomhaven a one playthrough? That's it?
I think you can get sticker packs and refresh packs, but I believe it is intended to be But I think you can get like stickers that you can remove it. I haven't played Gloomhaven either because I don't love the idea of you have to. I kind of feel like you have to have the same group to play that, otherwise it doesn't have the same feel.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. Prayers. Before drawing any cards to treat that as 0. This cannot affect the drawn at the beginning of the enemy phase. You may draw the humble request. What is that small symbol? Is that you may draw 1 more card? What's that little symbol mean?
Yeah. So let's see.
What's that little star mean?
I'm trying to look at that card. It's a little hard to see.
It just says,
yeah, I believe you draw an extra. Yeah, I think you actually just get the.
I hate that. Extra. Is there something over
an
here?
extra hero card from your hero deck. Is what that is. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, my range is 6. I'm standing right here. I'm kind of screwed. I actually probably shouldn't have moved that far. But you do have another character. So let's try it. Base of 2. And all these have an attack on them. Let's do that one. I can play as many as I want, but once I decide if I want to play 1, I can't change it after he rolls, kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, once we flip over his response card, you're locked in. You can't play anything else. So you can play as many cards as you want, but yeah, once he flips over. So once you play that, you can draw your hero card, and you may want to use that card. Who knows?
Right. All right, that's a 3.
So your attack value is now 3.
Let's just in case, let's play that. So it's now 5.
Now at 5. Yep.
And no more bets.
Okay. So his base defense is 1. So let's see what's drawn. His defense is 3 to your 5. You defeat him.
Woohoo! If it in ties, who wins?
Ties you do not defeat. So defenders win in ties.
Good to go.
You do have to exceed. So another one for the grave.
All right.
Which is good because I have a feeling we're gonna draw a big number eventually, and it's good that we get rid of some of those because I have a feeling these guys are gonna start hitting us hard with these ranged attacks.
Okay. So real quick, to make sure I understand this, well, let's go ahead and finish this, and I'll ask when it's their turn. I have a question about the enemies.
So let's see. That was you. I've gone with. Let's see. Who's gone? Both of our ranged people have gone. So you still have your berserker hasn't gone, correct?
It hasn't. But did this person go?
It has not, but I can't go anywhere until you go. So if you want to go ahead and move in and do something, you can.
Okay.
And remember, our goal is to get here, so we can start just escaping at this point, because we're probably going to want to.
All right, so that is the purple one. All right, so that would be the special and a move. Berserker Rage. When you move, during a move, sprint, or special action, treat that move as charge. If you do not attack during this turn, the rage ends, you gain 1. So the rage continues on to the next turn as well?
Yeah, so as long as you attack something, you're continuing to be enraged. So anytime you move, you attack. So, yeah, if you do the special and you move into somebody, you can attack them just like the charge. So you'll follow up with an attack.
Gotcha. So what I'll probably do, though, let's see, that's too far for me to attack from here, so I kind of either have to charge or sprint.
Well, if you're going to do the special, it follows up with a movement.
Right, but then I can only attack one thing, and then the next turn I'll be tired, right?
Right, but, I mean...
Doesn't really matter.
Remember, the goal is to run away.
Okay. All right, so it's purple. Let's move there. And Berserker Barrage. All right, so that took 1.
That guy also has 2 health as well, so he's not going to go away with 1 hit.
Oh. Okay. So now I can move up to 4 more spaces.
Yeah, so let me explain one thing. So this is the first time this has come up. So you'll notice some of these icons around the rondelle have circles around them, like red circles. So after the special, it has the foot. After you do the special, all movements cost 2 action points for each movement. So you'll have 2 movements you can still do with your 4 points left over. But for attacking and like defending, and I think it's just that for the attack and defend, any leftover action points you have left over, for those extra action points, you can spend 2 of the action points to do an increase of 1 to your attack.
Oh.
So if you have 2, you can do +1 to attack. If you have 4, it's +2 to your attack, and so on. But special's kind of weird. I don't know why it's not a different color, to be completely honest with you. But special, basically, you charge up your special, and then you could still move, but it's at a half movement instead of a double like the other circles. So
gotcha.
That's the only one strange thing.
Okay, so it takes... So I have 4 left, but it would take me 2, 4.
Yep. So you're still good. I just wanted to explain how that worked.
Gotcha. But that's because it has the red circle around it.
Yep.
And then I get to... So it goes in clockwise order. I have to do those in the clockwise order. So I have to move, then draw. Move, then use my Berserker Barrage. Attack, then draw.
It's actually left to right, as it is. Like when you're in the space, it's left to right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird how it works. You just treat it like it's reading.
Okay.
Reading in America.
You enter a rage. When you move...
Yep.
During a move, sprint, or special action, treat that move as a charge. Attack after moving. If you do not attack... Alright, so then I'm going to attack this dude.
Yep.
I don't have any points left over. So...
Right, but you have 4 attack by base, so you can spend cards to make it hit harder.
But it's still only going to do 1 damage.
Yeah, regardless, unless you have a card that says otherwise. Like, I do have a card like Backstab that will deal more than 1 damage, but you just have to read your cards to see if you have one that will do more.
Place when an adjacent hero takes damage, you take the damage instead. You also gain 1. Remove this card for the rest of the scenario. Rest of the game. Or is this considered a scenario, and then the next level will be a new scenario?
I believe this is the scenario. I believe it's just this one.
Okay. Heroes may aid you until you get your next wound or fatigue. What does aid mean? Okay,
so yeah, that was another thing that we hadn't had to come up. So we can help each other, and this is both in attacking and defending. So if an ally is next to you, sort of like flanking in D&D, sort of. If we're near each other, we can aid each other. So I can discard cards to increase your abilities. So if you're attacking and I'm beside you, I can discard cards to increase your values. And you just get the numeric buffs from that. So if I'm beside you and I discard a attack value 2, you get a +2 to your attack. Or if you're taking damage or you're getting attacked, I can discard a 2 defend and you'll get 2 to your defense. But every space further away from the adjacent spaces, it's 1 less effective. So if I'm like 2 spaces away, it'll be 1 less effective.
Gotcha.
So that's what aiding is. But the barbarian cannot be aided unless you use the call for help because of your no aiding ability on your hero card.
Understood. All right, play during a charge after moving at least 4 squares this turn. After the attack, you push the target as you would during a bash action. A bash pushes them back 1 space.
Yeah, so basically you take over the space that they were in and they go 1 space further.
2.
But you only move 2 spaces this time,
so I can't do that. Let's see here. I guess we'll use... This one has a defense, so that would give me 3 defense if they attacked me. So let's do this one first.
Yep. Yeah, more than likely, between that and whatever you draw, you're going to have a good chance, because they have a base of 2 defense. So go ahead and draw a response card. So your attack is currently, what, 10? Yeah.
Yes.
So go ahead and draw a card and see what their defense is. So it's 2 plus. So their defense is 6. You have defeated them. Or
right.
you have wounded them.
Okay.
Alright.
That's the wound token. Alright, and since I attacked, I do not gain a fatigue. And what does a fatigue do?
If you gain a fatigue, you no longer enrage, but then all of your stuff is -1, basically. You definitely do not want to be fatigued if you can avoid it.
Is there any way to get rid of fatigue in this scenario?
I believe there's like abilities that can get rid of it, but otherwise you just kind of have to get out of the scenario.
So I don't lose a health, but it's like I lost a health.
Correct. It's like exhaustion or fatigue in D&D essentially. It's just something that has to go away on its own.
Is there any way, like, if I'm fatigued and down here, do I don't go below that line still?
Once you hit once you take 1 more wound and you hit there, you're dead. You're just dead.
I get that part, but let's say I'm fatigued and I have 1 health left.
Well, fatigue, you don't actually take damage.
No, but what I'm asking is, I would have, instead of having 3, there's nothing lower than that.
Right, but
okay.
you would be at 2, essentially.
Okay.
It's just a -1. It's not like you
go
down
gotcha.
below.
Gotcha.
Right, it's just straight up a -1.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Yep. It's one of those things. Once you play a couple scenarios, there's just a lot to this game. You kind of have to play a few scenarios to kind of get all the little nitty gritty rules. Because even just playing this one scenario, you're only going to get about probably 35% of the rules, just because there's all kinds of things. There's bugs, there's poison, there's all kinds of status effects. There's just a lot to it.
Okay.
All right, so that was you. I'm not going to be able to get around you, but I think... let's see, what can I do? Let's see. Don't have line of sight on that guy, so I can't really attack him.
Hold on 1 second for me. Hey, Sinistar, for people playing tonight, are we going to play on Tabletop or Simulator, or are we going to play on Tabletopia? Because I don't want people to have to buy Tabletop Simulator if we're going to play it on. Which one would be easier? Either one. Is it available? Yeah, make sure it's available. Tabletop Simulator would be easier. Okay, let's do that then. Tabletop Simulator on Steam. And then where's the link for Bad Kerning? Where did we put the general chat? General chat. Alright, I'm back.
Alright, so I decided I'm going to move over here to do a defend, so I went, I think I was over here, 1, 2, 3, and I had 5 left over, so I'm going to first draw a card. Because that's the first part of this little space. What I can do is I can convert leftover action points into defend tokens, so that's a 2-to-1 ratio, so I'm going to convert.
Oh, that's how to get defense. Okay.
Yep. And these are basically like temporary hit points. That's that's how I'm gonna call it, because someone who plays D&D, it's the easier way to think about it. And now I could play cards to, or no, I don't really want to do that. So basically, that's how I'm gonna have temporary hit points, and then I could play response to get additional. So I'm going to go ahead and draw to see if I get any more. I'm going to get 2 additional ones to have 2 additional. So I now have a total of 4 temporary hit points that's going to protect me, or temporary shield, basically.
How long do those last?
Until my next turn. And the reason it's going to be important is because the enemy's probably going to attack soon. And they're going to attack the weakest character, and then they're going to attack the defending character. Now, they're not going to be able to attack the weakest character, I don't believe, because the weakest character is currently hiding. So they're going to then attack the defending character. So this actually works out really, really well.
Okay.
So that is my turn. So now it's the enemy turn. We're going to see how many actions they get. Only one. So that actually works out maybe well. Maybe they won't even get to attack.
Okay. So here was my question that I was going to ask about the enemies. So far they've only gotten 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
Let's say they'd gotten a 4.
A lot of things would happen.
So it was all here. So basically, it would say they got a 4. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
So they would do that, then that, then that, then this.
Yes. And
wow.
They would do. So what would happen is they would do. All enemies would do all actions in this block first. All enemies.
Right.
Then they would go here and do all actions in this block. All enemies.
Damn.
And then this. And then that. Yeah, it could be really bad because the highest number in the deck is a 5. So it will happen eventually. We've just been really, really fortunate so far.
Okay.
And somehow, even though...
I'm just lucky.
Yeah, somehow we're actually going to be really lucky because only one guy's going to attack. And it's this guy here. And I thought I was going to be defending against these guys. But, yeah, it's not actually going to happen. I forgot they weren't going to get the move. So, oh well. So, yeah. This guy is actually going to attack. He's going to attack you because you can't actually see anybody else.
Right. Oh, another Hodor moment.
Yep. So his attack by default is 2. And so, would you like to play any defending cards?
Let's see here. This one would give me 3 defense plus this 3.
Yep.
All right. So, yep, I'm going to play that one.
Okay.
And it says I get to draw a card.
Yep.
All right. So this one, so that would be 6.
Yep.
And if I did this one as well, that would be 8.
Yes.
But I would probably
want to 2. They have a 2, and the range of numbers is -1 to 5 in the deck.
I say we risk it and stick with the 6.
All right. So it's 2 plus 4, 6. They cannot exceed you, so you are fine.
Whoop whoop! We are the barbarians. We are barbarians. No one can kill us.
And that is all that happens. These enemies don't get to move because they have no line of sight on anybody. That's unfortunate. They didn't get very far. So, yeah, it's over to us, and I think it's barbarian time.
It's we're gonna go. What's that called? The no damage, no hits, no hit run, no hit run challenge. All right. So since I saved that too, thank God. I'm still raging, correct?
You are still raging.
So do I need to move? No, yeah, I still need to do this over here. All right.
Yeah, you still have to go around the rondelle somewhere.
Okay.
And luckily, anything that has a foot basically is an attack for you. You just have to move at least somehow.
So that wouldn't do me any good. Because I'm raging, I have to move.
Yeah, you have to move, and you also want to move so then we can start funneling down there anyway. So you really want to move a little bit.
Can I? Oh, I can move. I was thinking I couldn't move because I was trapped. That makes sense.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah,
all
you
right. So
probably
that
want
would
to
be
move
1,
north a little bit for us.
2. Oh, 2. So now I have 3 left, which is just enough because I can move here or here because it costs 3.
Yep, but you also get to draw a response card to get additional action points for moving. So you'll spend your action points first.
Well, then I probably... I don't
go
want to
north
block here. Huh?
Yeah, if you go north, then the other players will start going south.
What's north to you?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was reading it based on the text. So if you go here, then we can start funneling down here.
Gotcha. That's probably what I'm gonna do. All right, so that's 3, and then I draw a response card.
Yep.
All right. Plus
and
3.
You get 3 extra movements, so you can get all the way over here if you really wanted to.
2, 3.
Yep.
Boom, yow. And next up, we automatically attack. So that symbol right there was the card that I drew for the response, right?
Correct.
Okay. So that goes away. Now I attack. Play during a charge. This is not a charge. Yes, it is a charge. It's automatically a charge. Definitely moved at least 4. It was 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's probably not going to matter because you're going to kill him anyways.
Right, but I'm trying to figure out how often will I get a chance to play this card.
Yeah, do it. Absolutely.
So I might as well save these for other things. All right. And that...
Well, you'll probably want to at least add a number to
oh, it doesn't count as any attack. You're right. Okay. Okay. All right, so...
Because now you're up to a total of 6 damage, plus an effect.
But actually, this doesn't... The bash doesn't really do any good.
No, it's just literally a move.
So push target as you would during a bash action. Then push target, and you move into its square. Okay, gotcha. All right, so right now we are going for 6, attacking for 6, and I draw a response card for the baddie.
You want 4 or less?
Well, shiggity diggity.
You're good.
All right, so now we put him in the graveyard.
Yep. And now the allies have as long as there's some movement spaces for them to get to, they can just run through.
So does this make me move to where he was?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
All right. So now we want to just get players or characters through there. So we're gonna let the green player go next, just so he could take advantage of this, being able to skip over this, and he has a lot of action points. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And let's see, I might have my handful. So yeah. So what happens when you have a handful like I do? I haven't cleared out my hand. You have to draw a card if you have an action that requires it, but you don't get to pick what card you discard. You have to discard the card you would have drawn, and that can be bad because maybe the card you draw is really good, like pick lock. Actually, this one's not that good in this scenario, but you don't get to choose what you are discarding.
It's so basically it draws this and just automatically discards that, whatever was at the top of the pile. Okay.
Yep. So you really want to be using these. I just haven't been burning them as much because of our scenario hasn't called for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So that was, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3. So I still have 5 points left over. I really just want to move a lot. You may spend to teleport 2 squares in a straight line. Might do that actually, just to get him off this map. Let's see. That'd be 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, I couldn't do that to make that beneficial. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. Yeah, we're probably not going to fight too many things, so let's do this. I have 5 left over. 6, 7. 10. So I have 10 movements. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very nice. Very smart.
Yeah. All right.
And you had to burn that card ahead of time before you drew the response card.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. Does the red player want to go too?
Sure. I can go ahead and go. Let me see what I have over here.
Because they're both pretty weak.
They are both.
We left the weaklings in the back.
Yeah, that is true. Let's see.
Bring up the rear.
2, 3, so I can go 3 spaces. Let's draw that card and see what we get. Cast a flaming spell.
Lose 1 blood. Make an area attack with +4 against each figure in a 6 cone. This attacks heroes and enemies. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
So let's
fireball. Wizard casting fireball right in the middle of his party.
Let's see. That was 1, 2, 3. So that would get me there with the points I have left. Let's 1, 2. Let's just make sure we can get out of here. So 1, 2. I should get there. All right.
Did you draw a response card?
I didn't have a card. There was no response card for this because I didn't have either of these cards had a response on it. The only reason I did a response card is because this card literally had a response card to add to it.
Oh, I thought that meant response card.
No, that card is you draw a hero card.
Ah, hero card. Gotcha. Hero card. Gotcha.
Yep.
That's the response card, the little slash symbol. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
All right. Over to your character.
All right. He's got 7. It's the white. All right. He's at the charge. Technically, so it'd be 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you really want to get them as far in there as you possibly can. If you can actually get them onto
3.
like this space here somehow, you can would not be able to be attacked by the enemy if they get to attack.
Okay, so I've moved 3. First thing I do is draw a hero card. Oh, yeah, is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. All right, laying on hands. You and every hero within may heal. All right, we don't need that right now, but now I get. See, I did 3, so it was 1, 2, 3. I have 4 left, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is the best I can do unless I spend. Even that wouldn't do any good.
Well, yeah, you could spend like a 3 and you can get an extra 3 movement and you can duck into this pile of trash right here.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. Boom. I'm a trash picker.
Yep. And
Trash
literally,
man.
I mean, at this point, we're probably going to get out of here unscathed.
Okay.
Because they're not going to be able to catch us, I don't believe.
All right. Famous last words. I got a bad feeling about this.
So.
Watch them get a +5 and go blah all around the whole circle.
We'll just summon up the demons. We'll get overconfident.
That's right. That's right.
All right. That's all of us. Let's go ahead and see. Let's pull out a 5. Or we pull out a 0. So what happens on a 0 is literally you perform the action of the space they're on.
Okay.
So they try to attack. There's nowhere for them to attack, so nothing happens. If you happen to draw a -1, you literally take the marker and go backwards.
Okay.
So literally nothing happened.
All right.
They lost. They saw us for a second. They lost track of us.
Silence at the wall.
So it's over to us. Green player is going to go because there's no reason not to go because let's get out of here. What is my special ability? I don't even know. Oh yeah, I can catnap. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I charge out of here, this is probably the best thing. So I'm just gonna get out of here, clear out the way.
Is this
1, 2, 3,
sorry.
4, 5. What was your question?
Is this a fatigue symbol? The green ones?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like those are the fatigue symbols. Alright, so I have 3 points left. Let's see. To move.
Yes, those are the fatigue symbols.
Let's see. So I have 3 left. That's 1, 2, 3, So I need 3 more movement. I probably have a card to do this. Yep. I'm going to use Diligence. Gets me 3 more points of movement. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick the lock. Go through. I exit the map.
Well.
This character is no longer here.
Alright. Who's next closest? Red.
Okay. Red is going to... Let's see. Red... Red's probably... Let's see. How many action points does Red have? Red has 5. It's Red's special. Red could teleport. 1, 2, then move. Red is going to teleport. So Red will do a special, and teleport can be diagonal. So I'm going to teleport 2 squares. 1, 2. That only used 1 of my action points to get to that space, so I still have 4 points left. So that would get me 1, 2. I need 2 more movements. Do I have 2 more movement of cards? I do not, actually.
Because it costs double, or half. You get half the movements because it's got a red circle around it.
Yeah, because of the action points.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can get here. I don't think you guys would be able to get much further anyway, so I at least get pretty far ahead. So over to you all.
All right. I'm gonna start with closest. Actually, yeah, because he'll be fatigued though. So yeah, let's do that now. He is red. What is this? Purple. So purple is standing right here. If I go to rest, will I lose my fatigue?
I can't remember if that's how the fatigue works. Let me double check real quick. It hasn't came up recently. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, and then he would only get to move.
It does not go away until the end of the scenario or certain hero abilities. So you're stuck with it.
Oh shit, where was I? Right here?
You were right. Oh, on the thing.
Where was I? Crap. How did I forget?
You done a move.
I did a move and I did an attack. Pretty sure I was here.
You'd done a sprint because you drew a card and got a +3.
Gotcha.
Movement.
Okay. All right. So kind of need some. Going all the way over here to the move wouldn't do anything. I guess I could charge and not attack. Do I have to attack if I charge?
Nope.
So it'd be 1, 2.
Yep.
Then I have 3 movements left over, so that will put him right there.
Yep.
And then next time I can rest if I need to. Can he do anything else? So fatigue lasts until the end of this turn. Okay, gotcha. Boom, he's fatigued. Is there anything else he can do? Bodyguard. Nope. All right. So that's the end of his turn. Next up is white. I can go to sprint. That won't really do us much good because. See, that was 1, 2, 3. He's got 4 left.
Actually, now I think about it, if you wanted to do that in the opposite order, you could have. If you wanted to use him first, knowing that your barbarian was going to block the way.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's really all he can go anyway, unless
well, you have to draw a response card.
Draw a response card. +2. So he's still stuck there.
Well, you had a +2, so you'd actually end up in the space where the barbarian was going to go. Because you had 1 action point left over, didn't you?
I was here. 1, 2, 3. I had four spots left. So go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
+2 doesn't get me over here. So basically, either way, it would end up like this either way.
Okay. That's fine.
Unless I use this. Because that would be... I would have 2 plus 4, it'd be 6, so I could go... I'd have 2 left over, 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy goes here.
Yep.
Blammo.
And then the enemies go. The enemies. Man, this is. I'm sorry, this has kind of been uneventful for you.
Hey, man, I'm just lucky like that. I don't know what to say.
Kind of funny. Let's see. They
don't rain on me.
Move 3. They want to stay 3 away, so they go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They can't be. They're not within range to attack, even if they had an attack. So nothing happens. It's back over to us. Let's see how close I can get to this person being able to move. Guess they'll go 1, 2. They have plenty of movement to just go, so vanish off the map.
All right. Then white goes. Does the green get taken off the board as well?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Okay, so they're no longer blocking us from...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this would be 1, 2. He's got 5 left. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam, he's off the board.
Yep.
Alright, and then Berserker Barrage. He's fatigued, so he now only has 4 points left.
Yep.
One's off the board. 1.
So he's actually gonna take a little while.
2, 3, 4. That does nothing. How about this?
He still draws a card though, at least.
What if
Oh
we
yeah,
did
you
that?
can camp actually.
We did that, and then.
So camping. How camping works is you'll take all of your cards that's in your discard, and shuffle them back into your deck, and then you can draw back up to that lower hand number. So that 4 that you have, you could just draw back up.
So basically, just put them back in here.
Yep.
How come it's not working? And then how do I shuffle?
Right click and shuffle is the easiest way.
Boom. And then I draw to 4 cards. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, 4 cards. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I still have less than 7. All right. And that's all he can do. It is now an enemy's turn.
Yep. So we'll draw their card. They get a +1, so they attack. They can't attack anything, so it's back over to you.
Oh, we're definitely winning, son. We're definitely winning. The stream was asking if we were winning. You know that meme where like, "Are you winning, son?" All right. So now, this might take a while.
Well, the good thing is you have a lot of cards. You could literally just discard them all for movements
right,
at this point.
So that cost us 1. So now we have 3 left.
Well, it cost you 2 because you had to stop into the
1,
yeah,
2. You're right.
Bash, 2. Yep.
1, 2. So now I have 2 left. So that would be 1, 2, and then I can discard 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
And that gets us
there
out.
There you go.
Well, shiggity diggity.
Yep. And that is that's the game.
That is
yeah.
Pernicious Mouth. Perditions Mouth.
Yep.
Abysmal Rift
And
Revised Edition.
I'll show you real quick if I can get it loaded up real quick. I'll try to load up one of the other maps for you so you can see it.
Okay.
Then I'll let you get over to your other game since you have another game. You just click the... So you can, in the upper left, you can exit to lobby. and then you'll be back in the room that we were, the little waiting room that we were in, and then you can click ready.
Waiting for a game to start by Moats BF?
Yep.
Where's the ready button?
It should be in the center of the screen. It may take a second. Oh, wait. Let's, I think it's now waiting for me now.
No hit run. Achieved.
I'm just so happy a Tonberry didn't come out and doink us.
Boop. A little boop on a snoot.
Yeah, so somehow we got really lucky. Again, that's supposed just to teach you the basics of the game, but definitely it gets a lot worse when you have to go against a bigger swarm of enemies and the wider variety of enemies. So just want to let you see that it's definitely a lot worse depending on the type of enemies that you go against. And there are instant kills and stuff like that as well.
Okay.
And the minis are quite nice looking as well.
Alright, let's look at the enemies. Dreadmonk and demons. Insectoids. A nest. A Tharnix. A Chelene. Boneworm and a Rotika. Okay. And is there an alarm on this one? There's not.
No, but basically if you ever kill any of the nests, it increases the threat and more enemies will spawn if those nests are ever damaged. So the treasures, if you ever collect those, you get treasure cards.
Okay.
Sort of get you bonuses. It looks like there's probably, there's a couple more trap doors here, so there's more places enemies will spawn from.
Is
so
this
there's just more going on here.
Where do you start in this game, in this one level?
Well, sometimes they reuse the same map, so I'd have to actually pull out the scenario card for this. So I don't actually have that scenario card pulled out. There's like, I think there's like 25 or 35 scenario cards in the game, so I'd have to pull out the scenario card that uses this map.
Okay. But more than likely you would start here or here.
Yeah, in one of those two places more than likely, or in the top part of the, because there's an extra. But then also in the up here you could even start. There could be a pathway from here. So they make these maps open-ended so they can be used in other ways. Even down here at B2, there's a potential way that you can come through, because you can even see there's a doorway.
Okay, so sometimes the scenario would be, hey, you got to escape again, and some of them would be you have to kill a nest, or you have to kill so many enemies, collect the treasure. Oh.
Yeah, and if I understand how these work, there are scenarios that there's different scenarios that start you through different campaigns, even though you're using some of the same maps. The scenarios take you through sort of like a choose your adventure book, that you may be going through the campaign, but you're going through different adventures, even though you're using some of the same components, seeing some of the same enemies, but you're actually going through different stories, different objectives, and things like that.
Gotcha. So nests, even though it sounds like you want to kill the nest so they don't keep spawning, that's actually opposite. If you damage a nest, it spawns more.
Yeah, and unfortunately in some of the maps, they are blocking your path out, so you sometimes have to kill them. But you kind of want to pick and choose your battles in this game, because again, like I said, you're not being rewarded for killing everything. So you want to kill the things that are going to do you more damage in the long run. But if you can avoid killing things and just take your treasure and save the victims, that's really where you want to do those instead. One thing I will show you before I let you go is, so if you did take wounds, in which we had a no-hit run, obviously, you take wounds, you add these to your deck. And these are permanent things that are stuck in your deck unless you have some kind of potion or some kind of ability that removes these. And basically these will, if you played a deck build or anything like that, these make your deck bad, because these are negatives to your deck, and they have bad effects, and these will come into your hand, and you have to use them at some point to make some of your attacks or some of your defenses worse. So yeah, so you don't want to take damage, and this is every time you get hit, you take one of these wound cards.
Right.
So it's not a good thing.
And when you do these cards carry over to the next level?
Absolutely.
To the next scenario? Really?
Yep.
So this is a perpetual, like a permanent.
Yep.
Oh, what's
so
the?
There are ways to get rid of it with abilities and with treasures and stuff, but this is how that campaign functionality works. You get to keep these types of wounds. You get to keep the treasures, and there's a piece of paper that you'll keep track of, like, things that happen in between the scenarios to keep that kind of campaign thing going on. But you can always shuffle everything back together to start a new campaign, but you'll always have those notes if you ever want to resume a scenario that you played with a group of friends.
Scum save.
Yep, exactly.
There you go. Well, Brian, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind, drop your if this is on Twitch or something, if you wouldn't mind, just drop it in the chat so I could reference this, because I also stream and stuff, so I would love to be able to share this out myself.
100%. So this one is our exhibitor account, and by chat in, there we go. Where are we? Game chat or general chat?
Either one will be fine.
That's the one we just played on.
All right, thank you.
And then my normal account that I'll be playing games like this on more. Let me see here. I play board games on my streams all the time.
Awesome.
We've been playing Game of Thrones, the board game, lately. We've been playing Blood Rage. Have you ever heard of that one?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I've played that once or twice. Yep.
We've been loving that one. And then we like a lot of Asmodee games, apparently.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think they had a Humble Bundle not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been playing all those.
Nice.
And, oh, perfect. Perfect timing. Well, thank you so much, Brian. I got to rock and roll. You keep moving forward, all right, man? Catch you later.
Thank you. Later.
Yeah, you're right. We are supposed to do something in 2 minutes. I was thinking we had another hour to kill, but no. All right. I got to run to the restroom. Let's run a commercial break, Sinistar, and let's jump over to, where are we going to